it's Tony with lidl.doodle. Thanks for stopping by my channel. I fell down an ink hole yesterday. My hands look like I went swimming in ink, and I'm going to just share what got me started and 9 different pens that I swapped ink for. So first off, this is how I keep track of what pen has which ink, right? So it's just at the back of my notebook, my ink notebook, and it's messy, and I'm okay with that. And every few months I redo it. So when I'm going to swap out an ink, I just cross it off and then I'll fill it up and put a new entry at the beginning. But I was feeling a little bit like this is getting a little too cluttered. And because I'm at the end of this ink journal, I just have about this much left, I decided that I was going to transfer all of the individual what's inked with what into its own notebook. So I have this little Hobonichi that I repurposed. I tore out the front section because I had done something else in it, slapped a little piece of washi tape in there, and then said, okay, this is my August currently inked. So I started working on this last night. Definitely not done, but what this process did for me was make me think about some pens that I've had the same color in for a long time, haven't updated, haven't changed, and I wanted to mix it up because some pens I feel like I have better inks for now, maybe than I did last summer when I inked them up. So I pulled 9 pens, and I am going to do a before and after for each pen. And you can tell me if you think that my new choice is better or what. First up, I pulled my Esterbrook SD Quirky Leaf. I love this pen. This is just such a great pen, and it's funny because when this series came out, I didn't jump on it. It took me just a minute to kind of think on it, and then once I decided I got this one, and then I got Funky Lake, and then I still might get the rock one. I can't remember what the adjective was. So I immediately inked this guy up with Colorverse Glistening Brain. Pretty shimmery, so I'm going to shake it up, and this will be, I actually mapped it out, you guys. I told myself, I was like, okay, this is going to be way too messy. Sorry, that bottle was a little tight, to just try to wing it. So I actually did map this one out. So this has been a favorite of mine for a long time. I have always really liked Colorverse Brain and have typically always had it in some pen because it's just a olive. I love olive. It's shimmer. I love shimmer. And I'm just gonna write abbreviations here because I don't have a ton of room. So Colorverse Brain. So I was looking through what other colors I might put in my Quirky Leaf, and I just had picked up Oblation Olive at the Pacific Northwest Pen Show, and I thought, what a lovely color to put in here, and it gives me an opportunity to use this new ink. I mean, that's really was kind of a big motivator, as I just feel like I have added a lot of inks to the collection in this year, in 2025, and yeah, I don't like to be like, oh, I don't have a pen for this ink, I should probably buy a new pen. I mean, of course that's fun, but I don't think my bank account would appreciate that much. So I put Oblation Olive in here. I love this ink, and they're both, similar, but I think enough different that I'm going to enjoy that. And then once they dry, I'll hold each pen up, and we can just kind of take a peek. The next pen I swapped out is my TWSBI, I can't remember which blue this was, cerulean blue maybe. Anyway, I had this originally inked up for the longest time with Robert Oster Blue Moon. It is a shimmery bright blue that I just have felt like was a great match for that pen. And if you have been around, you know I'm a matchy person. I like to match my pens with my ink. And this one was just a nice bright blue like the pen. So it was kind of a natural choice. And this is foamy. Some inks, I'm not sure if it's just a property or if it's a like specific to brand, but some inks when you shake them they get quite foamy. Okay, Blue Moon. I'll just put Blue M. I know what they are. All right, so I swapped this one out and I have not written with it yet, so I am not sure what to expect, but this may not be as matchy as I am used to, so might be taking a little risk here. I went with Birmingham Pen Co. Ohio River. The swatch in my notebook made it look like it would be a fun color to have in this pen. So we're going to take a look and see once it dries. So it's definitely kind of a different blue, like almost a little more green. There's a little green in there. But like I said, on the swatch, it looked like it might be a cool swap. So how often do you swap out your inks? I'm curious about other people. I typically have every pen on my desk inked up. Now I do have pens that I have put away and they're not inked up. But if a pen is on my desk, it's inked up because I use all of my pens so often. All right, I'm gonna interrupt myself really fast. Now, this one, I did a whole video on, and I finally decided and I finally swapped it out. I haven't written with it yet, so we're gonna see, but I shared that I had Robert Oster, Free Spirit in that, and that the blue was just, I just didn't know if I felt great about it. I wasn't getting the shimmer I wanted, and I kind of wanted to see if I could pull some of the other colors from the pen. So I did make a decision. Thank you for everybody who commented and suggested and gave me your opinions. It was kind of a hard decision, and it wasn't the decision I thought I was going to go with. But I guess the good news is we can always change out our inks, right? So anyway, I keep all the pens that are on my desk inked up. And I know like for some people, they're like, I only ink up 3 pens a week or a month or something. In that respect, cool, that's great. I want all of my pens inked up because I don't know if I'm going to be doing some art or coloring in a mandala or doing some long journaling. I want to have whichever pen I want at my fingertips. Okay, are you ready for what I chose for this one? I went with Marley. And the reason why is because it has both kind of blue and purple notes in it. And I felt like it would be, once it dries, it's kind of got some cool shading that it would pull from kind of the muted purple in that pen. So we'll take a look once it's dry and we'll see how I did. But so anyway, yeah, I'm just curious, like how many pens do you have inked up at any given time, or how often do you swatch yours out? I don't tend to swatch mine out a ton, or I should say often. Once I have an ink that I really like in my pen, I tend to keep it there. There are some pens that I will never change out the ink. Like it is just a perfect match. So this was kind of a fun little way to spend my day yesterday, because a lot of these pens have had the same ink in them for quite some time. For example, this one, this is my Kaweco AL Sport. Iguana is the color. And I have had Spearmint Diva in this for a long time. So it was fun to look through my samples and see what else I might put in there. And I picked something, I'm getting a little out of my comfort zone. I picked something that the sample looks like it probably will feel matchy, but maybe not. It might be going with a kind of a different shade than I have used in this pen forever. So we'll have to see if I end up liking it. All right, so this was a new ink that I picked up at the Portland or Pacific Northwest Pen Show. It is Dromgold's collaboration with Monteverde Ice Dragon. And it's got like, oh, I just shook it so you can't really see, but it's got like a green blue shimmer, and it's a blue base. But the reason why I chose this one is because the blue base, along with the color of the shimmer, it kind of did dry with a little hint of like kind of teal like, that I thought that actually might be really fun in this pen. And this pen is a double broad, so it can handle the heavy shimmer. So we're gonna see if I actually like that match. Okay, so 4 down, a few more to go here. The 5th pen that I swapped out is the Favorite Child. I talk about the Favorite Child all the time. I have actually had, I think, 2 or 3 inks in this one because I just love it so much. I write with it a lot. I go through ink with it a lot, and every time I had Dama Industries Sunset in here because it's, if you know that ink, it's kind of a really pretty lavender, and it, I think, complemented the grip. But there's so many colors in this that I was like, I can't just keep putting the same color in this. So I was getting low with the color I had. Now I pulled off this, and I had it filled with Ferris Wheel Press Mirror Mirror. And I think you'll be able to see why. But when I made a decision to swap it, I said, okay, I'm gonna go for a completely different color family. I'm not gonna look at any teals, turquoises, blues, etc., and just go for something completely new. And the new ink I picked also impacted why I did not choose it, well, why I chose Marley for my cool one, because one of the options for this one was this Sailor Shikiori, and I decided I wanted to put this in the Favorite Child. So it's gonna pull a lot from these little lavender pieces, and I just thought it would be fun to highlight that on this go around. And I have the names of the Shikiori inks written in here, so I'm just gonna write Shikiori. I don't have a ton of Shikiori inks, and so I know which one is which as far as the color goes, but I'll go back and write the actual name in there later. But I just thought this is a really nice color, not only for the pen, but just kind of as we're transitioning into fall. I tend to use more muted colors, subdued colors fall colors. It's my favorite. Okay, next pen. This is not one I use very often, and I feel like it was maybe because of the ink I had in it. So this is my TWSBI 580 AL. Iris is the color of all of this. It's a beautiful pen, right? It's, look at that nib. I mean, it's just lovely. And I love 580s. I write with 580s all the time. But it was such a punchy pink that I picked Organic Studio Unicorn Blood. And I'm going to show you guys. It's just a little too much in your face. And it was a really heavy ink, so it would take a while to dry. And I just wasn't writing with it because I'm like, I don't know. I'm not much of a pink person in general, but I'm definitely, I don't know that I have anything really hot pink in my life, but it was fun. It was kind of at the same time that I had picked up Diamine Party Time, which is very comparable to this. And as I was looking through yesterday and kind of cataloging and reflecting, I was like, I really want to write with that 580 more often, and maybe if I swap it out to something still fun, because I think it's such a fun pen that it deserves a fun ink. Oh my gosh, look at how much ink's on that. I'll just write unicorn. So I went with Dominant Industry Sunset. And I had this in my primary manipulation, so I'm already familiar with it. I liked it, but again, I wanted to mix it up in my primary manipulation, so I thought this might be a great chance to use this ink in a new pen and see if it gets me writing with that TWSBI a little more often. It's got shimmer in it, and I'm pretty sure that 580 is a broad nib, so it'll put down some nice shimmer. Okay, so my next choice to swap out was my Carolina Pen Co. This is, look at that. It's such a pretty resin, and you guys don't pay attention to my hands. I spilled so much ink all over myself last night playing around with all this, and that grip is just such a rich purple, so pretty. I have had Frankenstein, Wear and Go Frankenstein in this since I've had the pen, and it's got a really pretty shimmer, but it is such a dark ink, and I just was not reaching for it very often. I love writing with that pen. It's such a comfortable pen, but I was feeling like, I have a couple other pens that are inked up with dark purples, and I just was finding that I wasn't going for it. And interesting, my writing sample with Frankenstein is a lot darker even than that. So I just thought, I'm going to go for something different, and I have not written with the something different yet, so I don't know if it's going to work for me, but we're going to see. I'll just put Frank. I love Wear and Go inks and how they do their little literary series, and I was looking at them last night and thought, oh, if they have an Othello ink, I will pick that up. And they do. Othello's my favorite Shakespeare play. Well, in competition with Titus Andronicus, but Othello is mostly my favorite. But I didn't love the color, so I might just need to get a sample. So I am replacing Frankenstein with Birmingham Pen Co. Washed Lavender. And if you saw my Birmingham videos, you know that I got kind of a weird color, and then they sent me the right color. So this is the right color. This is the actual washed lavender. So we're gonna see. I feel like that pen has enough of kind of this deep purple kind of ribbon throughout it that it might really work. We'll see. Sometimes, you know, when how much ink does the nib actually put down makes a big difference. Okay, and the last two. This is one that is an example of, I got this pen, this TWSBI Cafe. I can't remember, was it just Cafe? They came out with like three. There was like a cream colored one, a middle one, and then like a darker espresso or something. Anyway, I immediately put kind of something funky in it. Troublemaker Kelp Tea. I love this color, and it was kind of a not super match, but it was just like an interesting combination. So I left this ink in here and just was like, you know what? This is just going to be the ink for this pen. And as I was looking through yesterday, I just went, you know what? Maybe it's just time to get out of that comfort zone, try something different. Why not? I was already cleaning out 8 other pens, so I threw this one in the mix. But this is just a really unique color, and even though like it doesn't really match, it was just kind of a fun, I thought it was just a fun mix. So I decided to, and I haven't written with it yet, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna love the change, but I inked it up with Birmingham Pen Co. Turkey Feather. I just got this not too long ago. I wanted to find a use for it. I didn't have any other pens that were like ready to have this kind of color in it, and I wasn't gonna buy a pen just to use this ink. So I decided to try it in here. So let's see. And the fun thing is, I've said this before, I don't know if you can see it, that turns the water, oh no, it just looks like mud. It turns the water like antifreeze. Somebody told me that that was what it reminded them of, and I was like, that is spot on. All right, the last pen I swapped out is my Zodiac Pen Co. And this is one, again, I found an ink. I loved the ink for it, and I put it in this and didn't take it out until yesterday. So I have had my Irishizuku Fuyugaki in here since I got this pen last year in San Francisco. San Francisco, right? Yeah, last summer. Which, you guys, San Francisco Pen Show's coming up in like a few weeks. We're super excited, and I don't know if you follow my Instagram, you might know this. We are officially signed up to be vendors for Blackwater Craftworks at the California Pen Show in February. So we are putting on our big girl pants, big boy pants, and we are taking it on the road. So wish us luck. We had so much fun at the Pacific Northwest Pen Show, and it was just such a cool experience with our new little business and not knowing what the heck we're doing, but just taking a risk and putting ourselves out there. And it was just, yeah, it was something else. We just, we really had a great time. Okay, so that Fuyugaki has just been such a staple because look, you know, look at this. I mean, that orange, it's just perfect, right? Well, I picked this Tasha ink up, and thank you. I think Lindsay commented and told me the proper pronunciation. It's Tasha. And she said she got it straight from their table. Anyway, we got this ink, and I had put it in something else, and then decided to mix it up. And I thought, well, this might go really nicely in my Zodiac pen. So I haven't written with it yet. I haven't written with most of these yet with the new swaps. I just swapped them out last night, and then I was busy doing my ink swatches in my new little Hobonichi notebook. So it's still, I mean, even though I think that the color is just like Tasha red, it has a lot of orange in it, and I think it's just gonna kind of pull just a little bit of a different orange out of that pen. We'll see. So we're gonna give this just a second to dry, and then I will hold the pen up for each swap and we can take a look. Okay, we're almost all the way dry. I zoomed in so we can take a closer look, but first up we have Quirky Leak with Brain and Olive. I like that swap. I'm happy with that swap. Pulling kind of the yellow out of that, where I don't feel like the Brain highlights that as much. So I'm okay with that swap. Let's look at the Cerulean Blue Twisby. You know, I think I am going to be okay with that. And when I'm looking at this, I'm like, huh, that's actually, this is a better match. What do you think? I think it is. Huh, that's fun. I really like the way that dried. It doesn't look like that on my swatch card. Okay, let's look at Marley. And I am happy with that. Look at that. Right there. There it is. Right in there. Okay, that's going to be fun. That's going to pull right from where I want it to. Okay, so far so good. 3 for 3. Now we've got Spearmint Diva versus Ice Dragon. And I'm thinking I'm going to be okay with that. So this is definitely bluer, right? But I think that gold kind of pulls in, you know, the writing's gold. I think it's going to be okay. I'm going to be excited to write with this because it's a double broad, and I'm going to be interested to see how it looks. Okay, sorry, I'm having to reach back behind me on my desk. Okay, so Ferris Wheel Press Mirror Mirror to Shikiori. I think I did okay here. Right in there. I think that's a nice match. And because the grip is that kind of muted color purple too, I think that's a good one. And then maybe, you know, next time when I swatch this out, I'll go for some of the orange, but I am happy with that choice. And moving on to this one, I think it's going to be okay. I mean, it's bright pink, right? Or not bright pink. It's kind of like purpley blue. That's purpley blue. So yeah, I think that one's going to be just fine. All right, now on to Frankenstein versus Washed Lavender. So I think, you know, the Frankenstein is a really good match for that deep purple ribboning that's going on in there. But I am digging the Washed Lavender for this lighter purple that's in here. What do you think? I think it's going to be good. I'm going to write with it, and I'm going to see how does that translate from just the swatch to the actual writing. And then next up we have the Twisby Kelp Tea versus Turkey Feather. Obviously this is a lot more orange, but I think I'm going to be okay with that. I think I like that swap. I was getting just kind of tired of the Kelp Tea, even though I do really like it. I was getting a little tired of it. Okay, finally we're going from Fuyugaki to Tasha, and I am seeing some pretty deep orangey red ribbons in there. So while even though this up here is pretty bright, I think as I get down further in here and even right there on the cap, I think I'm going to be okay. Well, that is exciting. I'm glad that because I didn't write with these first, and I just cleaned out my pens and swapped them out, and I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm really happy with those so far, and now my job is gonna be to go write with them and see if the writing sample in the pen translates. I'm just loving that Ohio River, you guys. That's exciting. Okay, this ended up being a way long video. I felt like I was kind of yapping a lot. Let me know what you think. Curious about what you think about my choices. I'm curious about how many pens do you have inked up all at once? Do you rotate? Do you swap your inks out? Do you do, different pens a week? I know, I see people, they do like, oh, here's my 5 pens of the week or the month, etc. What do you prefer to do? It's all fun, right? However you do it. But thank you if you've stuck around this long. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and I'd love to hear from you about your inky adventures. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.